let you know, yes, I checked out your videos. What I'm really curious about is it electromagnetic or electrostatic? I feel like it's the latter. Reason I say that is because I'm leaning more towards science. Even though I'm spiritual, I'm seeing how the two are connected every day, hence watch my video on the photons. Basically my recent ones. But I make this video to really ask this question to all of you out there, science and spiritual people. If the obvious thing about human beings in terms of the quantum realm is photon emissions thereof, what are other ways that we are tapping into the quantum spectrum that we don't realize is the quantum spectrum? Because empathy / empaths are basically feeling precisely photon emissions. And depending on pattern recognition based on that unique person or based on the general premise thereof, an empath can get so precise with how they read you to the point that you'll think that they're reading your mind to the T, to the word. But they're really just advanced pattern recognizers based on how they feel the photon emissions from your body. Hence, every reflection off of their body and anything absorbed inside thereof. They know how to read, they know how to reinterpret, especially when they ground themselves. Hence brings me to this question. What if there are other particles that the body can emit as well? That would also depend on what you would consider a quantum particle. Because let's not forget, besides heat, we also generate gravitational fields, although very tiny, as well as electromagnetic fields from our own blood vessels / body thereof. Those aren't quantum effects, although they can interact with the quantum spectrum / realm, but still, that's not the question I want to ask. The question I want to ask is, what if our bodies are able to interact with gluons or bosons or quarks or specific parts of the atoms, whether it's an electron, neutron, or a proton? What about positrons? You feel what I'm saying? Like, what if we are able to emit or interact with said quantum spectrum? And the reason why people are not focusing on how they can be macro is because of decoherence, which honestly is true until you realize that decoherence is how the world spreads itself. I gotta put this in better words for myself. Macroscopic decoherence may be more coherent than you truly think, because scientists want control with quantum particles, control that you just cannot have, especially with macroscopic beings like ourselves. So no wonder we can't get coherence with freaking quantum realms, quantum spectrums, quantum particles, etc. You're trying to control one portion and apply it to something massive, when really you have to acknowledge that even though there is decoherence, these quantum effects don't just go away. They may be spread out. There may be regions where they're higher in concentration and others where they're more spread out. But these quantum particles are still here at the end of the day. And that's what I want you to get to through your thick skull and head. Just because there is decoherence, that doesn't mean that you cannot utilize it to your benefit. You just have to stop thinking of it as control. Instead of grabbing a cup and throwing it at a person, you move your hand in a water bucket and you move with the water, guide it and push it. You're not controlling the water. You're flowing with it. Because once you move with the water's flow, your output matches its output, and it thus multiplies into a greater output that can create. And that is something that people like yourselves have to realize. Stop thinking that you can control quantum particles. Once you think about control, you lose it. Or at the very least, you lose the effect that you so want to achieve. In order for you to achieve said quantum effects, you have to flow with it. You cannot fight it. You cannot control it. Because the moment you do, your energies are going to clash. And it'll be so rough and tough to the point where it'll require way too much freaking energy to get a small, tiny output because you refuse to go with the flow of the quantum realm. That into which is our space right now currently. Whereas when you flow with the quantum spectrum and you're also allowing yourself to breathe, be patient, and to move and hear in said quantum spectrum, you're able to interpret way more than you truly think. You're able to see more, do more, feel more, become more, just be more. Just by accepting the quantum spectrum, you not only relinquish control, you gain power with balance and fluidity. That is what scientists cannot get through their freaking skull. And that is what these businesses, these secret societies, these three-letter agencies, these secret people, they cannot get this through their heads. You cannot control that into which is meant to flow and be omnipresent. No matter how many times you may try, you're always going to get less than what you put in by thinking that you can control it. When in actuality, the moment you let go of control and you just go with the flow and go with the move of how the quantum realm is responding to your energy input, now you start to fine-tune specific things in the environment thereof. You're like, okay, this thing can reflect photons extremely well. It ain't 100% efficient, but it dang sure is high 90s. So let me grab this, place it here, emit my photons, and boom, I have amplification thereof. Or you're like, this solution has a high quantum tunnel efficiency, meaning I'm able to quantum tunnel way easier than water. So let me place this here, place an electrostatic input here, and bam, now it's cycling itself. Again, theoretical examples, but you understand the general premise of what I'm saying to you. You do not control that into which seeks to not be controlled. You flow with what seeks to be free and move wherever it goes. Because why fight a particle for where you want it to go when instead you should place it where its probability is highest? Why are you trying to force the trajectory of a quantum particle when you can just place something in its path and redirect it to a place where its probability in that space is higher? Why are you, as an adult, trying to hold on to your adult offspring when you should let the offspring go? You're fighting the offspring constantly over and over again because you're trying to get that offspring to go to a place that that offspring doesn't want to go. But instead, as the parent, as the emitter, as the energy source for said quantum particle, you guide that quantum particle. You guide your offspring to the place that it is destined and it truly desires to go. And once you do that, you get unique effects that you didn't think would be possible, effects that actually get you what you want. Maybe not in the way that you desired, but it still got the result that you truly desired. The path may have been different, but the result was still the same. And that's what I want to get through y'all thick skulls. The quantum realm isn't about control. It is about precision and moving with it. You don't get more by pushing more energy into it and hoping for the best. You learn by observing what the quantum realm does best. And when you understand what the quantum realm does best, you position yourself correctly. So that once you understand that these quantum particles are going to go there or there or there or there or there, no matter how many times you may pump energy into them, you set yourself up accordingly. And you allow yourself to achieve an effect that benefits said quantum particle / offspring. This is how you should see your kids when they're old enough. This is how you should see these quantum particles, especially when you're able to fine tune it even more for your own body, your own device, or whatever the case may be. That's why the quantum realm is way more important now more than ever. You think people are just saying this for any reason or just saying it because it's a trend? Some are, but it's not the full story. The quantum realm is truly a place where the imagination can become plausible, if not probable, if you know how to guide the particles correctly. Incorrect guidance or forcing it is going to cause it to be off track and miss the target that you so desired, or that they so desired. And so when working with these quantum particles, realize and understand that it's way deeper than just adding more energy. You're shaping the environment to favor the quantum particle instead of going against it. You don't get more by going against the quantum particle just to get what you want. You get more by favoring the quantum particle. And when you're able to favor that quantum particle, that effect becomes macroscopic in scale. And that's the truth that you scientists just don't want to accept. I'm finna do a part 2 on this.